Hey guys, so at the end of a long day, we are having a few struggles here in Tanzania at the moment. Featherstale, not Tanzania. The power of the shilling to the pound changed dramatically. So whereas I was getting 3,300 shillings for £1, like last month, well, beginning of last month, for the last 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, we're only getting 2,600 shillings for £1. So like 20% of our income that we get from donations has been severed in the exchange rate. So we're having a bit of a battle with that at the moment. But at the same time, it's allowing God to show me that He will keep providing. Because I'll never said this in public yet, but last week, literally, Fritzy and I sat and I scratched my head because every single bank account was empty. All of them. And many people say that's dangerous, but this is the world we live in. How do you do it when you can't? I can't work. There's nothing I can do. I'm looking at other alternative avenues for income. Fritzy and I are debating doing a line of children's books, actually, so I just thought I'd drop that in early. And the animals of the books will be children who live with us. That'll inspire the different characters, and the funds will all go to the kids, of course. But anyway, it's hard to find another way of getting income other than being a beggar. In all intents and purposes, that's what I am, a beggar. I'm a father, but I'm a beggar for the children. And it's caused us a lot of issues. But God is showing us that He will provide regardless. Now, I've had something that I've sat heavy on me the last few days, and if you follow us on Facebook, you'll know this story. But we had 3 days ago, we had twin boys, Johnson and John, and their story is just heartbreaking, as many stories are here. But when they were 8, their parents died, so they went to their uncle. Then the uncle died, and they were in an area that they didn't know, so they were in the house, and eventually the food ran out, so they just went to the street to look for something to eat at the age of 8, and they've been there since. At the age of just 11, they discovered heroin, and they've been injecting heroin since they were 11, and they are heavily addicted. They're 14 now. Still very addicted to heroin. So they are very strong young men. They came and they asked for help, and something unusual within it. Education, something we don't realise how important it is, but these boys didn't even know what addiction was. They didn't know you could get addicted. Now, when you've been homeless since the age of 8, and we all know from the other boys that very dark things happen on those streets, things that will traumatise a child and make them shut off from the world around them. They don't know what addiction is, so what they say is, they say, we get sick, so we have to take this medicine. So they don't know that the withdrawal they're going through is anything other than a sickness. They think it's sickness, and this is the thing they found they take, and it goes away. And that was amazing to me, because I think most children at the age of 14 in the West would know what addiction is and withdrawal, I believe. And I think that's one of the plus sides of having a strong education system on these things. Because here there's sometimes children not in school, of course, no education. So I got the boys into rehab, and there's only one rehab centre in the whole of Kilimanjaro, and it's made me go deep into myself and start asking God if we need to open somewhere. I could rent a house somewhere for reasonably, compared to the West, you could rent a big house for the year for like maybe £2,000 or £3,000 or something. You could rent a smaller one, but I'd say the reason the other one doesn't work for me is they mix the older boys with the younger boys. So this is not going to work, I believe, because they govern it really well, but it's just the fact the younger boys are still going to be scared of them because they've been abused by these boys on the street, you know. So even if they don't get a chance to interfere with them, they're still going to be scared. So I'm praying into that, opening a centre for the younger boys, like 16 and below, to get them off heroin. And I'll see what happens. I might be able to achieve that by the new year, if God keeps sharing with us as He is. Now, the thing is, this week I've done something unusual that I haven't normally done. One, I had a family in trouble, and I normally would have covered this with this 20% that's missing from our donations. I presume because I haven't had a need to do fundraising pages as much as what I have this week. I had to do one for that, and within a few hours, the target for another family who were in desperate trouble, about to be made homeless. Father had broken his leg while he was working and couldn't work, and the mother was pregnant and debating going to the quarries to labour. Now, this is a story, if you get injured, there's no health insurance, etc. here. If you get injured, you can't work, this is where you end up homeless, your children end up labouring to support, so on and so forth. It can be a very horrible spiral to go into when it happens. We opened that page, I went outside, came back in, like 15 minutes later, and we hit the target. And I could have cried. I went outside so excited to go and find Fritzi to tell her what had happened. And then with these boys, I have an emergency pot of money, which is around about £300 for emergency operations, emergency whatever. Unexpected costs from people in the community. When we met these boys, I had to take them to rehab, but they insisted on payment straight away, which was like... they wanted the first month payments straight away, and it came out at around about just over £200 for the two boys to stay there. Then we have to buy them clothes and toothpaste and everything like this. And I opened the fundraising page and we went over the target, and then I explained some people had donated, and we reached the target. We went over by a little bit as well, so if they have 2 months of rehab in the bank, sort of thing. Now, the money doesn't come directly to Tanzania, but it allowed me to say, okay, well, the pot is going to fill back up again, because now I can use that in another emergency. That's how we operate. The donations come in and clear the pot that we had, so we can do it again, sort of thing. Now, then someone mentioned to me, and I was panicking. I'll be honest, I've been worried, and God's telling me, stop worrying. Stop worrying, I'll sort it out and I'll provide for you. And He always does, but it doesn't stop me from being human when it comes to money. And I was worrying because we don't have... We have 20 boys at the centre, and to keep them, now there's around 20, or just over 20 of them, it costs us around about £50 a month for each boy. And so we say that's like 5 sponsors or 4 sponsors if they pay £15 each, sort of thing. We split a sponsor for each child. But there aren't many sponsors for the boys, and only around 3 of them are sponsored, and it makes me panic because I live off donations for this centre, and you feel responsible in a big way. These boys, I don't tell them, they don't see the YouTube, I don't tell them sometimes that it's a little bit, hairy sort of thing with regards to finance, but because God always provides, and I can only tell them that God will always provide, because He always does. Now, a lady contacted me and I said, we've reached the target, but keeping them at Angel's Gate hasn't been, there's no cover for that, so that needs doing as well. So she's donating for that, and they'll be okay at Angel's Gate. There'll be money for them for a few months there as well, until we find more sponsors. So this is what's going on for the last few days, and it's just a positive thing to say. For all I worry, because I'm human and I do that, God always provides for us. Sometimes, like clicking your fingers, as soon as you put the word out there, He sends the right people to see the word that you've put out there. Sorry, my memory card filled up. So yeah, this week we needed help, and we got the help immediately. And we were able to help the boys. They're in rehab, and we just pray that they find the strength to get through what it is that they have to go through. And thanks to people understanding our position, we will also have resources to be able to provide for them at the centre. And we always do, and I always say, as I say, God's providing, but the way I see it is God uses people, and he moves the right person at the right time to share with us at the right time. And it provides two things. It provides the physical resources to do what we do, but it also provides me with motivation and hope, because no matter how many times God always lifts me out of the crap, no matter how many times he always provides and answers my prayers, I still start worrying like all humans do. And I still start getting a little bit edgy and saying, maybe he won't answer this time. And I'm sure he sits smiling and shaking his head as if to say, really? After everything, you're still not sure? And this is, I'm for sure, this is an image I have in my head. But this is a journey of faith, and when you're completely surrendering everything, all logic, as the Bible said, does he not provide for the birds? They don't reap, they don't sow to reap a crop, but he provides for them. And this is how it can be for us too. So if he provides for the little birds, he will provide for us, and he is providing for us, even in difficult times like we're facing at the moment, like I say, with this exchange rate. So just wanted to share that anyway. Lots going on here at the moment, and I'm going to pull the videos back onto what's happening. Got a lot of fun, light-hearted stuff going on this week as we're starting to prepare for Christmas, and I've got some announcements to make as well. I'll mention it now first time. We're going to start doing, I don't know if it'll work, I'm hoping it does. I love Christmas, but I don't like giving these commercial gifts to people. So we're going to do gift certificates to say that it certifies that you have sponsored a child. I might do another video about this, but just there's lots of fun stuff coming anyway. And yeah, that'll be happening this week. So we're heading up to the schools. It's always a lot of fun to do the Christmas cards and stuff like that. Okay, much love guys. I better go and help Fritzy in the kitchen. So, okay. Yeah, what else? Anyway, I'll keep it for another video. So, long day. Much love.